it's that Dave BV, and welcome again to another edition of VPC. And this evening, I have the great privilege of having Premier Hop joining us. Ready for a beer? I don't blame you. So yeah, I've got Premier Hop joining us this evening, which timing-wise is actually probably quite astute, and I'm going to put that down to us putting our heads together. And yeah, being really intelligent. And this evening, my first tipple, I'm going to be going with the Pentridge Brewing Co. Dream Tempo, which is very, very nice. So, you guys know the format. We'll be running through some questions with Premier Hop. If you have any questions that you'd like to put to the team, drop them in the little question mark box at the bottom, and we'll get to them as we go through the feed. And yeah, enjoy. Let us know what you're drinking, and yeah, let's see if the guys are on. There we are. Hey, hello.
Hi, Dave. How you doing?
I'm not bad, my friend. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
No, nice top.
Yeah, got to represent a brewery, don't we?
Well, cheers, sir.
Cheers.
What are you drinking this evening?
Went for Dream Tempo first. What about yourself?
This
Good choice.
Oh, we've synced up well. It's like we planned it. Well, thank you so much for putting time out of your diary to join us this evening. Really, really appreciate it.
No problem.
No, absolute pleasure. So, as is tradition on here, I'm going to start with my first question. Who are you?
We are Premier Hop, myself, Rohit, and Hema, who's hopefully coming on shortly. Moved from Glasgow a couple of years back, and we decided to move down to sunny Leeds, just to see, well, Hema's family were from Leeds, so we decided to come down here, start a family. And that's when the opportunity of, well, we took on a convenience store called Premier. So that's where the kind of Premier Hop came from. So we had that for 2 years. It was initially just a convenience store, and then we trialled a few craft ales, the usual, just to start out. But then it seemed to kind of take over the whole shop. So that's gone back nearly 4 or 5 years now. So it may have been one of the first kind of stores, convenience stores, to have kind of beer and the kind of day-to-day groceries. Yeah. But because it was tough for bottle shops, what we decided to, obviously, if we've got convenience, it's bringing that footfall in, which kind of helped on, say, like Mondays and Tuesdays, when if you're a bottle shop, you find it hard when somebody's going to come and want to buy a beer off you. So it was just that footfall, which led to kind of word of mouth, and then yeah, we decided to sell that after 2 years and just kind of sell Premier Hop.
Yeah, fantastic. So I had no idea that's how the operation started. So what got you into beer in the first place?
I've always kind of been into beer because my dad in Glasgow, he's got a kind of pub restaurant. Oh, right. And so I've kind of grown up in that kind of industry, hospitality, but not craft as such. It's just been your kind of main street, kind of traditional restaurant. It's just kind of like a bar. And yeah, I've always been in the kind of pub industry. That was with my dad and my uncle. They had the business and I used to run it for them. So we decided, well, me and him, I decided we wanted to kind of open up our own business. And we were struggling up there because I was running it for the kind of family. And that's why we decided to leave there and try and set up our own kind of business.
Yeah, fantastic. And what was your introduction into kind of craft as we know it then?
Craft was actually just coming to Leeds, so probably about 5 years ago. And just Leeds seemed to be the place. Northern Monk was here. There was North Brew as well at the time, and obviously some smaller kind of breweries just coming around that stage. And it was kind of established shops well about then as well. In the Little Leeds, there was Rainville as well. So the two main ones in Leeds. So it was just kind of taking off from there. We decided to just go and check them out, see what was what. We wanted to open up our own kind of business anyway, and yeah, it went from a convenience store to a bit of both.
That's fantastic. And now, obviously, having the website as well, so we'll kind of dive deep into that. So when you set up Premier Hop, well, I suppose going from Premier, what was the ethos behind introducing craft breweries into it?
Initially, it was just trying to get local ones on board. So any ones that were local to us, we thought we'd try and get as many local ones into the kind of shop as possible. But it just kind of grew from there. Word of mouth, when customers were coming in, they were telling their friends, "Oh, the selection of craft beer in this Premier it went from like a small kind of bit on the wall to a full wall, and then it was like 3 or 4 walls was just full of beer." So word of mouth kind of helped us a lot, and yeah, it was quite exciting just getting all the beers in. It was people were coming in saying, "Is all Premiers like this?" And it was we don't think they are, and they're still not. We just decided to take our initiative and bring the beers on board.
Oh, brilliant! Is there anything, if you could travel back in time and speak to your younger self when you were starting that, you'd say you should do this slightly different?
I'll bring Hema into here. She might have.
Hi.
Oh yeah. Nice to see you.
Right. You too. What was the question?
What was the question again? Like, but if we were to go back in time when we first started.
Oh, we bought everything. we did. We bought probably more than we were trialing and testing different breweries, seeing what would sell. That was the biggest thing that we learned in the shop.
Yeah, I think it's different when you've got a store though, because you've got people coming in and they're wanting to see what you've got and they're wanting to browse. Whereas obviously we've come away from that now, and it's less interaction, even though we're on Instagram really all day, every day of our lives. But you miss that kind of person-to-person interaction where you can speak to people physically and you can recommend this, you can recommend that, and if there's anything new, and you can say, "Look, check this out." Or if someone's just coming into entry-level craft beer, they would ask you, "Is there anything you suggest?" And it was just trying to help them on their journey where we started once as well.
Was there any when you look back in kind of the first lots of beers that you started getting in that you went, right, this is the one that's made me go, yeah, I'm fully into getting this in for myself, let alone customers?
I think it was actually probably Cloudwater. Which
yeah, they were like, it was their year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the year where they kind of well, it was all the V series, wasn't it? And it was like bottles initially, and then I think when we must have started, it was maybe the first cans of it, and it was just the hype around that. And because we managed to get some, it gave us a bit of publicity as well, because people were messaging on Instagram saying, "Can we come down and can we collect some cans, etc." And I think at that point we kind of knew there's something in this for us to kind of take it further, so to speak.
And Verdant were upcoming then.
Yeah, Verdant as well, when we had the 330.
They were literally, it was literally when you could only get like 12 cans of Verdant.
We've had a taste of that kind of again recently at the beginning of the year. It's nice to see everything getting back to normal, but
yeah, I never forget. There's a couple that we know who are still in Farsley, actually, where the shop was, and he came in for one Verdant, then he sent his wife in for another Verdant because we had a limit of one per person. They realised for months that they were doing that, and then they said, "Do you actually know that we're a couple?" And I was like, "No, you just gave it away." But literally, that is how tight it was, wasn't it? Do you remember?
Yeah. It's sad where they've come from as well, because obviously we got them in when they were just trialling the 330 cans, and just to see them grow as well, it's madness, isn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously they've used a crowdfunder as well, so that's helped them massively. But yeah, it's been an interesting journey so far.
Well, I think when I first discovered the beer community and on Instagram, I remember this was before stories and that, and just asking people, where can I go? I've got one bottle shop that I know but it comes in and goes out in Brighton quite a lot. And a lot of people recommended you guys. So yeah, my first kind of online order was through Premier Hop, and I think a lot of people get pointed in that direction. How does that make you feel? That kind of you turn this like the mecca of it, really. People going, right, okay, look, if you want to get a sample of not just one brewery. I mean, we all want to go and buy direct from breweries, but if you're looking at, you want to try a few, you can ask on Instagram what recommendations are, all of the good stuff that you'd want that you'd get in person. How does it feel to have that, and how important is that to what you do?
I think that's part of our ethos as well, to try and get not everything, but what we feel, well, what I like and what Emma likes, what we like to drink, and it's not just buying every single thing under the sun just because we can, you know. So yeah, it's partly that, and what else would you think?
It's just really nice that people like kind of put us up there, because if you like, obviously you'll find out today anyway, but if you knew the hard work that goes on behind the scenes of Premier Hop, when you hear people saying that, honestly, it like makes our day, because all the hard work, and it is literally hours and hours every day, it makes it worth it, as well as obviously everyone's happy with their products and things like that. But yeah, it does, it makes it worth it for us, because it is tough. It's not an easy, but it's definitely worth it when you hear that.
Yeah. Obviously being such a small team as well, there's more than two of us, we've had to get on a few more extra hands, obviously over lockdown and stuff, but it was tricky because it's not the biggest of places, and you've got restrictions, so it's like one person in one room and one person in the other room, and it's just tricky trying to balance it all. And obviously everybody was at home ordering beer online, so we were in a good position where we were already there and online. So it's been tricky as well, being just such a small team.
Yeah.
But rewarding at the same time as well.
Well, I think that's a really nice segue into probably finding out the inner workings of what the operation is, because, like you say, to be honest, you guys are very, very responsive, particularly on Instagram, and I don't know if it's the kind of the convenience store mentality that you kind of started and established, where you're pretty much on duty 7 days a week for people popping in for a newspaper, and then Joe Blogg's popping in for some craft beer during the whole course. So yeah, what's it like? What's a day in Premier Hop?
It's non-stop, if I'm being honest. It just doesn't stop, honestly.
It really doesn't stop. From when our little one wakes up, we just don't stop.
Because when we wake up, it's DMs from the night before, and then it's just what we try and do is, so every beer that we get goes online, so to speak. So it goes for box and it goes on the website. So obviously the process is, the next day we acknowledge them, and then they go into a sheet. And then from the sheet, they have to go into each individual person's box as well. And then the actual beer needs to go into, obviously from the fridge, it needs to go into the box as well. So it's a tricky old process. And then you've got your website orders as well. So it's kind of like two separate entities.
Almost two separate businesses that we're all trying to do on the same day and get the same stuff out on that same day. So there's a lot of learning curves, to be fair, as we've gone along. And kind of tried to expand ourselves. We're trying to get where we want to be. But yeah, we've had a lot of learning curves. So for example, a lot of people on the saves box system will ask for a tally. We can't get it until the day after, but nobody really understands why. But it's because there's so much admin work involved in it, making sure the beer is physically boxed, then making sure the beer is physically in the sheet as well, so that they've got it in their invoice. So that, the sales boxes takes a longer time, but I think because you can build it as well, it's probably worth it for the customer in the long run for that. But yeah, we've had a lot of learning curves, haven't we? Where we've tweaked the system.
We've changed a lot from when we first started Premier Hop, because initially our concentration was the boxes. We kind of neglected the website, and the feedback that we got from various customers was, when they were going online, most things were sold out. So what we've had to try and do is, whatever we get, even if it's 3 or 4 cans or whatever, it needs to make the website.
Yeah.
Which then disappoint some of the box customers, because if we say sold out for box, then it's like
It's a tricky balance.
They don't understand why it's sold out, or
Mm.
because it was tricky over lockdown. So it still is at the moment, because breweries were restricted. If we've got a case of 24 cans, and we had over lockdown, I think we reached maybe 150 boxes at one point.
There was nearly 200.
Yeah, so it's like, there's no way to make everyone happy.
Yeah.
Best, but there's always going to be somebody that's been upset on it. That's why they might not come back, or they might take a break because they're thinking they've missed out on this and this and this. But it's just trying to get the balance. I think for us initially it was tricky because we kind of neglected the website, and then feedback, made sure everything was on the website that we do get in. And yeah, we've always, every 6 months we'll tweak the website as well. There's always improvements from when we first started it, so we're always trying to improve that, improve the boxes, improve ourselves. It's
even the courier. We initially started with Parcel Force, which was actually I actually had sleepless nights about Parcel Force. They were a nightmare because it was like every week we had so many damaged parcels coming back to us, despite our tight packaging. And we've always, even when we had Premier Store Barnsley, we had a really, really tight system of packaging, and it was just becoming a nightmare. So when we changed to DPD, we saw a massive change, because it's usually next working day service anyway.
Your packaging is no joke. Like it's very comforting when you get your beers through, and you kind of go, well, I haven't got that, because everyone does that when they order beer through a brewery, a shop, and you open the box, like, oh Christ, what's gone wrong in here? And yeah, I've yet, touch words, never had that with you guys, so that's yeah.
We've had people telling us we overpackage, haven't we?
To put less in, but for us guys, we'd rather get the beer safe, bottles safe, glass safe, than somebody being upset that their box is ruined or it's been damaged or anything like that. So we probably are overprotective, but in the long run, it's better, I think.
I've just been reading the comments, by the way. Thank you, everybody. We're feeling the love. It's very nice. Just to say that, so I acknowledge everyone there.
Yeah, just seen Cloudwater have joined as well.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's probably a nice segue then to actually talk about the boxes, because I know a lot of people when we announced that you guys are going to be on, they're either praising the box, so they have a box, or they've been asking what is the box system. So, why don't you tell us what it is and how it's evolved? I suppose is to what it is now. This monster of a second business within a business.
It initially started in the Premier Store. So basically we were getting the beers in, and we used to just list them as they came in, like we do at the moment. And then some people were asking, oh, can we get that beer? Can we get that beer put aside, but can we collect it next week from the store? And then, well, it was initially Hema's idea, where she was doing it all on Instagram, and then people were asking, can you ship out as well? So at that time we couldn't, because we had no idea of what the couriers would charge, etc. But we just kept it to collection only for local kind of folk. But it kind of evolved from there. Every beer went up. Everybody was asking, can you put that by? Can you put that by? And then we slowly got into maybe shipping out to various places, even Ireland at the time as well. We've had a few customers that have been from day one, well, and still are actually.
Andy, who's in the conversation, he remembers us. I've seen his comment from Premier Store Barnsley as well. Like, it's really nice that we managed to keep actually quite a lot of the customers who have become our really close friends. So it is nice to have that. But yeah, it all started from Premier Store Barnsley, and then when we sold it and then decided to go online, then we knew we had to tweak a lot, because it was just a basic system which didn't really have any.
Yeah, because initially it was like when somebody was asking for a tally, it was like, take a picture of what they've got in the pack.
There was no invoice.
There was no invoice.
It was just a picture.
That's where one of our friends, actually, Two Steps Jack, that's his Instagram, he kind of evolved the kind of invoice sheet that we do, and he done all the back end database.
Because we're really old school, we just like pen and paper. So
we were pen and paper for ages, and it was just taking too much time, and we thought, he's got the brains. And he just put the system together, and it's been amazing since, to be honest.
So all your invoices, guys, that's you to thank.
Yeah,
Stop being so
imagine
accurate, is what people are saying.
yeah, if we had like 40 boxes, you can imagine if get out, take a picture, add it up, send it to them. That's what it was at the time.
That's literally what it was.
Right. That's fantastic. And so how do people get involved with it now?
So basically, you can just drop us a DM. That's the best way to do it through Instagram, because we initially started to do it on Twitter and it just wasn't working because everything was on Instagram. So yeah, just drop us a DM and then we literally send you 2 long messages. It includes all the information of how it works. What we just ask that whatever you box, you don't change to keep it fair all round. And then we tally you up at 3 weeks, or if you want to cash out beforehand, that's fine. And then we get your box out to you. And we do Europe shipping now. We used to do worldwide shipping, but because customs proved a nightmare, we just stick to Europe and the UK now.
That's fantastic. So we've got let's go. We've got a question from the Crafty Hopper. So, what brewery has been the hardest to get beers from?
You go on, Rohit.
If it's UK, I think initially it was Dare. They were tricky until obviously the expansion happened, and luckily enough, we've been able to get nearly everything. Now we've got a good relationship with Dare, probably one of the best now that we've had, haven't we?
Yeah.
So it's nice to have that, and yeah, I think Dare was the most trickiest one to get on board at the time. And obviously Verdant as well, when they hadn't grew from where they are, and they were really tricky as well. But yeah, I think then they two were
that's the UK one.
The top ones for us. But UK wise, yeah, that's the ones. Abroad it's different kettle of fish.
Yeah, I can only imagine, to be honest. So I think the Day thing's an interesting one, because it's obviously the expansion went ahead as planned, but I think it's COVID related essentially that they went, right, we need to start supporting bottle shops, we need to start supporting independent providers. How, that's obviously a positive that's come out of the situation. Being online, doing the beer, you've hopefully seen growth over lockdown. What's been the kind of the pluses and the negatives for you guys personally over this time running your own business?
So during lockdown, it was great because we had a lot of new customers, a lot of people who hadn't tried us before. That was through website and saves boxes. The saves boxes got to a point where there was so many, I had to put a limit and actually a waiting list, which I have never done in the 4 years we've been doing this. I had to because the stock was so limited from breweries. So breweries were like literally only giving a case at a time, or not everybody, but certain ones. So to make the system fair, we had to put a limit on it. I found that really hard because I find it really hard to say no to somebody who wants to join our system and get a box. So that was the most difficult thing for me. I don't know what the difficult thing. Your end was probably ordering.
Yeah, I did most of the ordering. So like, because not all the breweries have ramped up full production yet either. So it's still half kind of production. So Pomona Island, when you get 1 case of each and you've got maybe 50-60 boxes still at the moment, and you've got website customers, it's just trying to get the balance again, which we always find a bit difficult if we've not got enough of the beer. But when we've got enough of the beer, it's simple.
Great. Yeah.
You just split it up and it's happy days. Everyone get what they want and you crack on. But it's when you start getting 1 case of each and 12 bottles of something, then it's a nightmare.
Our worry as well after lockdown was, it was great, like I said, during lockdown, but after lockdown was like, we had all these new customers, but we thought, are they just going to stop now because bottle shops are back open? And that was our big worry.
We noticed a slight dip after it, which is inevitable. Pubs were open, bottle shops were open again, but our website kind of kept us going in August, which is usually our quietest month every year. We left 10% discount on it all month, and it was steady away, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was surprising. And then now it just our September is always planning towards Christmas, or starting to plan towards Christmas. So that's our big thing now, and it's great not to have a restriction on saves boxes anymore. So I feel a bit more relaxed that we can actually supply people what they want.
Majority of the time.
Yeah, majority of the time. Maybe a couple of breweries is hard.
So how do you find the relationship between yourselves and breweries? So like instigating it and then making sure that they're happy and you're getting what you need to supply your customers. How do you find that balance?
It's a tricky one again. Like, we've got great relationships with most of them, but when breweries can't provide more than a case, then it's just that fine line. They've like Track as well. They've mostly selling all the good stuff online. They're still giving you the odd IPA or pale to trade, but most of the hype stuff they're selling themselves.
That's been hard though.
That's been tricky. Yeah, I forgot to mention Track. They've been one of the hardest to get some beers off now, because of their success. I think they know they can sell their beer on their own web shop.
No, definitely. I mean, I think we've seen that with other breweries as well, where like yourselves, they've seen a peak of traffic through lockdown and the last 3 months where we've been trying to wait to see if we're getting some normality, and they've been able to kind of strike out on their own from it, I suppose, which I can imagine can make it difficult.
Been nice to see some breweries as well, i.e. Pipeline, Johnny, who we've got a great relationship with.
I've actually got his t-shirt on right now.
Good work.
He went the opposite way and obviously didn't set up the shop and decided to give everything to trade, which obviously is a small output at the moment, but just still getting as much beer as we can from, say, Johnny, it's been amazing. And it's just nice to get that support back from smaller breweries like that, and obviously we try and repay the faith as well, by trying to sell as much of it as we can.
The relationship with breweries, just generally, like, as you all will know anyway through the craft beer industry, it's so friendly and it's so nice because we genuinely build up those relationships. It's not that we just drop them an email and just be like, can I have this? It's like we speak to them on Instagram, we speak on the phone, we speak on email, we catch up with each other whenever we can at the festivals. And like, we have a really good relationship with North anyway, which we have from day one. And I literally take the little one there anyway every week, and that's how close we all are. Like, they all know him and he knows them, so it's about building it up as a friendship rather than seeing them as a brewery. I think that's the most important thing, isn't it, really, for us, because we don't want to just be.
I don't think that's just for breweries either. I think it's majority of our customers are all friends now as well, so it's like it's gone from being a customer to more of a friendship most of the time. Most of the guys we go to festivals for are our customers, but have become really good friends, which is what it's all about. Yeah,
that sounds true. Well, following on from that one, IPA Joss is just asked, do you have any more collabs planned? Because I think you missed out on the North Tipper.
We've still got some North Tipper hidden away, so I'm sure we could sort Josh out with one.
Just drop us a DM, Josh, because you've got a box anyway.
It's our second birthday as Premier Hop, 1st of December, so that's kind of one of our kind of things is to see. We're trying to arrange 2 collabs. Can't obviously say who at the moment, but hoping we can get that organised in time, and we should hopefully have 2 collabs for December around that time.
Exciting. Christmas boxes.
Yes, exciting. Boxes. It is actually, I have to say, my favourite time of the year, Christmas. So, we're really excited.
But I saw the post today asking for what's the ideal Christmas beverage. So, you know my thoughts on it.
Yeah, well, you know what? Recently, I've just been saying to Rohit, because we have so many discussions with our friends and between ourselves of like different questions that you want to know. And this one, I just genuinely thought, because everybody's been drinking all sorts all year, it's not been like where the summer you're having like lagers and things like that. It's been a mixed year of drinking. And I just thought, put the question out there, and the answers we got back were brilliant, weren't they? Like, there was such a mix of things that you wouldn't have even thought of.
Got Bailey's there.
Yeah.
Simon's all in for the Bailey's.
conversation.
So I know your parents, because I remember not long ago we were talking and there was a bee stinging incident. How do you two balance it? Because you sound crazy full on all the time. How does it work?
Go on.
We don't. We're trying to get better. We are trying to get better. I'm expecting another one at the end of December.
Oh, congratulations.
So thank you. That's why Andy had put I'm looking glowing and everyone's wondering what the what the thing is. But yeah, it's really, really difficult. Well, both of us actually, when we first set up a business, we just wanted to give something to our children that, like my parents, for example, gave to me, and that was to have whatever they wanted, and that's what we wanted to do, is just basically build them something where they were comfortable in life. And to get that balance can be really, really difficult, because we started Premier Hop 4 months after our little one was born. I'm lucky that I get to work from home most of the day. Our unit's only across the road from here. Oh, no. But yeah, it's just, I think sometimes, like, Rohit finds it hard to switch off. So he if it's a really late message that you're getting, it's usually Rohit and not me. I'm to be honest, more of the day or late evening, but not after 9ish, 10ish.
No. It's just that it's all about the taking care of the customer. I like to just respond straight away, or I don't like anyone left the message before I go to sleep. I need to make sure everything's been.
Yeah, so I think finding the balance is difficult. At the weekends, it's the first time actually in 4 years, for the last few months, because it was so crazy in lockdown, we just decided at the weekends, Saturday and Sunday during the day, we just don't do anything to do with Premier Hot. We just try and have it off. If people, we still get back to them, but we usually tell them now we won't get back to you till Monday, just because it just gives us a bit of family time that we need just for ourselves, or whatever we want to do as a family, just to try and catch up and reboot. But that's the first time we started doing that, really. It's taken us a long time to start doing that.
And I've got a full-time job as well. I don't know if anyone knows. So
wow.
From a full job, I'm both juggling everything just to make sure we can do the best we can.
Yeah.
Really. And what about sleep? When was the last time either of you slept then?
Well, once you have a baby, you don't sleep.
Even when you're pregnant, you do not sleep.
So yeah, there's no sleep involved anymore.
Oh, there's a lot of love in the chat. So again, yeah, massive congratulations! How exciting,
guys!
Thank you.
Two Steps has asked, how big are Naif's hands, really?
They're massive, aren't they?
Massive. They are massive.
Petrifying, really, aren't they? I don't know if he's on this evening, but he'll feel the love.
Later on when you can watch it again.
I'll get a private message. For God's sake, not my hands again. You name your bar, it. You're stuck with it, aren't you? Right. It's there's a few more things I want to bring up, but there's quite a few questions that I'm just thinking of roll through, and we messaged each other a bit about this before. This week's obviously been.
It's froze. Shall we rejoin the conversation, or?
Oh, are you back?
Your face is frozen.
Oh. Hang on. Right, is that better? No? Oh, I've gone.
No. Shall we rejoin? Would that be easier?
Yeah, go for it. When you've got two, oh dear. Oh, I can't imagine having two. No, petrifying. Yes, the big question. So, let's get right here and him back on. We're just going to get out of the way, aren't we? Because it's been an interesting week. Hello.
Hello. Yay, we can see you now.
Cool. So I've lost the question, but Rob, Northern Beer fan, asked the big question that we discussed earlier, and I think it's a poignant week to have to do it, given what we've seen all over Instagram. Supermarkets. It's just get it done, get it out of the way. So
yes.
it's been a touchy subject, hasn't it? It always is when it
Yeah.
comes up. To be fair, it doesn't really bother myself. What bothers me is the promotion side of things now. Whether or not I'm right or wrong. I don't think the big supermarkets need it. Whereas the little ones, not just us, any other little shops, if anyone promotes it, puts a glass up or any promotion at all, tags them in where they got it from, it helps any independent business, which is a massive effect for anybody like us. Whereas Tesco, Morrison's, they just don't need it. The beer side of things doesn't really affect us because we don't get that kind of beer in, really, the cold beers that they go into supermarkets.
Yeah, we learned that from the
even
shop
North,
as well.
who we've got a great relationship with, they're putting beers into supermarkets, which is fine. It's just the promotional side of things which bugs me, so to speak. Yeah.
What's your views on it?
It's interesting you asked, to be honest, because when initially I was quite supportive of it. It's how my dad kind of started to understand what I was interested in. This most recent run is exactly what you've said. The promotional side of it. You know, I'd love to. I wouldn't mind so much if every person I saw that was doing the promotion, so every one of the beer bloggers who were promoting that they've got these beers, were also saying, "But I've been getting £100 a post." That would almost sit better with me. That there's, you know, there's the budget that is there. It's not, you know, someone setting up their dream shop and going, "Look, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. Can you promote that you bought it from here?" That's a very different line for me personally. I understand it's quite a touchy subject because there's people who just go, "Well, it's free beer," and I get that. You know, it's but I totally. I think it's the promotional side of it that stings, because I think there's it sounds weird to say that, you know, if you're getting paid £100 a post, I would feel so much better about it happening. But I think because that's my take on it anyway. Plus, the majority of the beers I've got from a supermarket haven't been too good. They're very much check the dates on the bottom of the can.
As Chris has mentioned as well, it was 5 days of it as well that Tesco were doing. Obviously, we had the Morrison's ones for days as well, so it's just been nearly 2 weeks, and God knows if this Sainsbury's one's real or not, or if it's a parody account that's been open. It's
got to be. I mean, I'm just expecting a can of Neckerel every day. And do you know what? If they post that on that page, I will follow it and like it, because I would find that hilarious. That 365 days we've got Neckerel in, yeah. But I mean, it's Chris has said it's damaging to the Instagrammers, and I get that as well, because it's clogged up. Clogged up's not a fair term, but it's made the feed busy, and there's a lot of I get messages saying, "Have you seen, you know, Verdant have just done Gus again," for instance. I missed that because my post was all one can for a while, which, you know, yeah, I don't imagine. I mean, because you guys, you know, a lot of your business is through Instagram. You're very active on going, right, this is in, this is there. I can only presume this week it's been hard to kind of quantify the traffic that the eyes you're getting on your posts.
A lot of our customers have said, "Oh my God, I missed your post," and they'll DM us, say, the next day after we've already boxed the beers, and just be like, there's just so much on the feed, like we didn't even see that you put up a new beer. So that's what it's been like, hasn't it, all week this week? It's been mad. Yeah,
I can only imagine. There's a handy tip for anyone who's watching who doesn't want to miss a Premier Hot post. You can turn notifications on. There you go. There's your free. I've done.
You'll be surprised that a lot of people don't know that.
I randomly, sort of, the company I get all my shirts from, put a post up about it the other day, and I was like, hang on, I run 3 pages now. How have I not known that to tell people about it? What's going on? So there you go. Yeah, you can turn notifications on about Premier Hop, about Virtual Pub Club, about, my page is a bit boring, don't bother with that. Appropriate Crafts Week, you can do that one as well. Yeah, so turn notifications on, you won't miss anything. Right, supermarkets, anyone who's watching just for that, I'm quite happy to close the book on that part now.
Yeah.
And we can move on with the good stuff. So, you see a lot of beer.
Yes.
individually, what do you look for if you're going to go call up a brewery and go, hey, you know what, I want you to make me a beer, not for Premier Hop collab, just me. What are you looking for in that beer?
I've always liked the dippers, if I'm honest.
You always have.
I've always liked it from day one, so it's got to be strong, 8% above, smooth. Yeah, just anything that ticks the boxes like that. If you give me a pale, I just can't drink it.
Really can't.
But yeah, it's got to be a dipper or a strong IPA. I can get on board with 6 point. Well, the only pale I can drink probably is Steady Rolling, and for me that's probably the best pale that in the UK at the moment, or has been. Sharks 6.5. That's one I can get on board with. But generally, if it was just for me myself, it's a dipper.
He would never have said this conversation 2 years ago. How both our taste buds have changed over the years.
What about you? What have you got a particular? This is my.
When I do drink, obviously I'm not at the moment. I'm on the orange juice. I started off when we first had the business 4 years ago. The first business, it was more fruity things. I had a really sweet tooth for like fruity beers. As it's gone on, I've gone like to ghosts. I love, yeah. Fruit ghosts and sours is my thing. North Brew specifically. Was it the?
I think because they're so close to home.
Yeah, because I can just go and get one. No, but I do. I love their ghost range. I always have. And
you like the track one?
Yes.
Track Imperial.
Yes,
so,
that was amazing. Yeah. And the mango one from North is probably one of my favourites. But I do look for something with something sweet. Whereas like Rohit, he'll try a few stout coffee flavoured. Not my thing.
You like coffee though.
No, so. That's probably why.
Any MPs, anything like that, that's the one for me. What about yourself, Dave? What's your go-to?
It's probably a heavier loaded IPA or a dipper. I mean, anyone who watches this regularly knows that I have a bit of a love affair with Steady Rolling, to the point where I don't know if I've got any in view, but there's a Steady Rolling Dave range of cans, which are probably a special edition when we do a live event with Theo at Daya when we can finally get down there. I'm fully on board with that. But I'd say you finally popped my Pentridge cherry. And, really enjoying that. So I've just finished the Dream Tempo, and I'm just cracking the Gang of One, which I've not had before. Which is the first time I've ever seen Equinox spelt like that as well. So every day's a school day. So when things get back to some sense of normality and you can go anywhere, I'll pay for it. It'll be fine. I'm only paying for one of your drinks, which is even better, isn't it, at the moment? So, you can go anywhere in the world to any tap room. What's your go-to tap room? Your dream one to go to?
That's a tricky one, isn't it?
That is a hard one.
It's got to be an American brewery because generally the UK ones we can get to, well, relatively easy. Maybe number half. Trying to not be too cliche and pick the other half, but it's a tricky one.
Yeah.
Binback possibly, yeah. They kind of, well, not surprised us, but we loved their stuff at Friends and Family.
Yeah.
Last year. I think the dipper that we had was
amazing. Yeah, that was our favourite beer, wasn't it, of the day?
Yeah, I think it's called Bird of Prey, something like that along them lines. But yeah, probably maybe Finback would be a nice place to. But definitely, you may as well try somewhere in America.
Yeah, especially if I'm paying.
Yeah.
If I said you're doing, it's like we're just going to go across the road to North. We'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
We have all the North bars here on the doorstep. So when we're out and about here in Leeds, they're perfect because obviously they don't just do their own beers; they do a mix. So it's a good great fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice being in Leeds because it's obviously one of the hot spots for UK for beer. We've obviously got Manchester and Cheltenham, etc. But I think we were lucky where we ended up settling.
Yeah, very lucky.
Which has obviously led us to Premier Hop. Otherwise, I don't think we would have set it up, if I'm being honest. So yeah.
And everybody's quite supportive of each other in Leeds, so aren't we? Like, we know everybody here, even the other bottle shops. Everybody seems to have each other's back, so that's really nice to work with. Because you don't feel like you're working against people. You feel like you're working with people all the time. Which is...
Yeah.
Well, talking of your trip to the US, the Hoppy Chaps have asked, any American surprises coming up in the future? Other half, EQ, maybe even Monkish.
We always get asked that too.
It's always a tricky one again, because obviously the shops that are bringing them over now, are they doing it legitly, etc.? Anybody's toes, but few, they're doing it properly. They've got people bringing them. So yeah, I think they've got Equilibrium coming again shortly, soon. So, but for the likes of Other Half and Treehouse and stuff, then it's usually mules, isn't it? Whether or not it's not something that we want to get on board with. We just want to try and do it properly and get the beers that we want in properly as well. Yeah,
I think when we had Anthony from Other Half on, he said that realistically it'll be earliest next year that stuff comes over in a non-festival bracket anyway from Other Half. So yeah, but no, it's not nice to know that you're still flinging on the US surprises now and then as well.
Yeah, it's nice to get some of it. It's a nice change, isn't it, to get some of the US stuff. But some people are obviously a little bit more than. Obviously, we try and price ours as best we can. There are shops that price them fairly high to what we do, but you've still
even
got.
When you're getting them, it's still pricey. From some places, it's ridiculous. We can't even. We just think, how are we even going to justify that price to our customer? I don't know.
The latest Equilibrium stuff that was air freighted over, I ended up passing on it because of the price they were, and then the price you'd have to pass on to the customer. So they'd be like £13-14, which is what you probably pay a mule can. So I thought there was no point in bringing them over. It's nice to have, but I wouldn't want our customers paying £13-14 for a can. Well,
and particularly one that you've got to take a cut on if you're trying it before you put it on there to go right. Because if the worst thing you want to do is charge someone 13-14 quid for a can, and it turns out to be a very mediocre EQ can that's been sat in freight for however long.
But that's well, one of the cans, for example, I think it's Wavelength that come over. Yeah. When we got it over last time, it was £7.95, but because it's been air freighted over this time, it's near enough 12 quid a can. Well, when I've been having a look at different shops and stuff just to see what they were pricing it at, and then just shows you the difference in price. And that's why we ended up just passing on it. There's plenty enough UK beer that's good enough there.
Yeah, just like everybody's talking about now, but a lot of feedback that we had actually this time round was that the UK breweries are pretty much up there competing with some of the...
Yeah, they're competing there, but obviously if you're bringing over Other Half, Monkish, that kind of thing, then they're obviously they set the standards over there. But Equilibrium, I think, in the UK can equally match their stuff, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a bit of a, it's a rite of passage, isn't it, in the in the beer loving community. So like you've got to have at least another half, so you know what it's about. And the same with Monkish. Rob, who are folks that gave me my first ever Monkish. And it's one of those things. Right, I get why we're where we are now, because people, So I understand that definitely. So if we kind of cast the stone forward for Premier Hop, where would you like to see yourself in, say, 3 years? Would you go back to a shop front as well, or
No. The only reason I say that is because I think we touched on it earlier, that of how hard we work anyway. I think a shop with our family, like obviously little ones as well, and I just think it would be too much, because we really miss the personal interaction, and I think we try and make up for that maybe on Instagram, but not just Instagram. Like, we still run the Facebook page, we still run the Twitter page, we're still getting direct messages through them as well, so we try and make up for that. But having a shop again would be very difficult. I would find it difficult, because
I think with what we've got on at the moment, obviously I've got a full-time job. Hema's looking after the little one, and she's doing all the accounts and all the DMs, etc. during the day and stuff, and then we've got a small team doing that. I think to get a shop front, or for me, it'd be nice to have a little bar kind of thing, because I've always ran bars, and that was my
we have thought about the bar.
That was the whole plan when we had Premier Hop. Sorry, the store was potentially change that into a kind of food stroke bar, but I don't know what happened. We just decided to sell it and
because my dad, he's been in business all his life, and he did have a restaurant, and we contemplated it, didn't we, of merging the two concepts together. Because as you all probably are aware, Indian street food is really, really good and really catchy as well, and it's on trend. And it seems to mix really well with craft beer. Well, it mixes well for us anyway. But so we thought about it, and I think down the line it could be a possibility. If that could, a shop as such, I would be put off that, just because of it would be our workload times 3 or 4, which we know how hard it was before. But the restaurant bar thing, we still have that little thing inside us, don't we? But you don't know.
We worth the pilgrimage. The Premier Hop and Tap. We'll be heading up to Leeds.
It's a tricky thing, because we've got Bundabust here, and they set the bar for craft beer and Indian food. So it would be like trying to compete with them. It would be either foolish or I don't know. And it's a tricky one, isn't it?
It's something we've thought about, but like I said, it'll probably be something down the line. But in the meantime, with Premier Hop, we just want to grow it as much as we physically can grow it ourselves, still keeping our ethos, still keeping
ethos, trying to get little breweries on board. I think one of the questions just there is, what's going to be the next pipeline? We never know what will be the next pipeline, but we're always out there to try and get little breweries on board, just to see what they're like, give them a platform to build, which we did.
Just like how we built ourselves on a really, really small platform when no one even knew. Even probably today is the first time that a lot of people have met us, unless you're at a festival. But it's just
there's always going to be people coming out as like competition, etc. But if we just keep doing what we do, I think we'll be okay. You never know what's going to happen, but if we keep doing what we do, hopefully we'll be all right.
Yeah, sounds good. Just a quick from Chris, do you get a lot of samples?
Yes.
We have recently, about last year or so, we've been getting all sorts of breweries just phoning you up. Don't know how good this GD, because got all sorts of breweries just phoning you up saying, do you want samples? And you're getting emails left, right. But I'm never going to say no to samples, because I can't try them all. But
but we sometimes, what we found actually is we actually physically get a chance to drink all of them. So we actually send it out to some of our regulars who've been regulars from day one, and we actually just get their feedback, because they're probably the best people to actually tell us that's not a great beer, and we're not going to buy that, because that's what we want to know. How are you going to buy it? So we've started to do that quite a lot, actually, because we obviously can't get through them all.
No.
But yes, he's right though. Some people will just keep messaging through all our social media platforms until they get an answer.
They'll actually go on everything.
Yeah.
LinkedIn, you've got emails, you've got
It's mad.
Yeah, it's a funny one.
Well, I'm just looking at the time. So before we kind of wrap up and close, I thought it'd be a good opportunity just to pass over to you. So if there's anything you want to say, promote, gripe, praise, whatever you like.
Well, we were just saying, actually, I think we mentioned it to you earlier today. We were thinking that if anybody wanted to join
MySpace, yes, Chris.
If anybody to join the Saves Box scheme today, and you haven't before, we'll send you out a free beer and a free glass if you fancy joining. And if you want to know how to do that, just drop us a DM, and we will get back to you at some point over the weekend. Yes, that glass.
I know a bit about glasses. That's a bloody good glass. So there you go. drop slides into the DMs.
Yeah, not much else to promote, because we are who we are.
Yeah, and we're just be honest, like we've done from day one, everything that we've built up is always through word of mouth. So
yeah, that's probably the biggest.
That's
seller,
our biggest thing, yeah. And we're really lucky to have the friends that we do who are always happy with our service, I guess, in that way.
Awesome. Well,
I think that's...
honestly, thank you so much for giving up your time this evening. It's been great to find out what goes on behind the scenes, because I think when stuff is centric online, it's quite easy just to imagine a massive warehouse with loads of people beavering away, let alone a young family who are holding down all the normal jobs and working 7 days a week. And it's great, great to see and great to hear your passion. So, yeah, thank you so much for joining me this evening. And yeah, when things get a bit back to normal, I have to get you back on to kind of see where things are and how hopefully hear about your adventures and the belly growing regions. And yeah, hopefully seeing Rohit out at some beer drinking festivities as well. So
definitely.
Yes, so we were saying actually we've been trying to plan all summer before this lockdown. We were trying to plan a Premier Hop night out. Just all our regulars, wanted to meet in Leeds, and we were trying to do it for so long. And obviously it's impossible this year, but at some point next year that would be really good to actually put into practice.
Yeah, even
there'll be many things to celebrate, won't there?
Yes, there would be.
Yes. Mainly he may be able to drink again.
It's been really actually getting all the feedback from the guys who are putting questions in and just seeing but it's nice to see what we're doing is being appreciated. And yeah, it's hard work, but
yeah, and thank you for everybody's support actually, because especially during lockdown it was a time we weren't sure which way it was going to go. Was it going to go really quiet, or was it just going to...
Yeah, we didn't know if the government were going to shut us down as
well.
So.
We were really worried about that. So thank you for keeping us going. We honestly appreciate it. As you know, we have a little family to support and provide for. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, guys. And yeah, hopefully I'll get to see you down the road for an in-person beverage.
Yes.
Great stuff. Yes, to
awesome.
That.
Well, cheers, guys. Well, stay safe, and yeah, I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Thanks again.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
See you later.
you.
Cheers, guys.